Okay, we're very lucky to have here Eleanor and Rob from the Disabled People Against Cuts campaign. So, Eleanor, can you tell us how your campaign started?
Campaign started on the 3rd of October in Birmingham when we were invited to join the Right to Work campaign against the Tory National Party conference, and we marched we did a big protest march in Birmingham where disabled people, trade unions, grassroots organizations and Right to Work campaign, and we marched all together with disabled people leading the march. That's how we started. We said this shouldn't be a one day thing. So then we thought, why don't we start a campaign, and we called it Disabled People Against Cuts.
Cool. Have you just been marching so far, or have you done any direct action yet?
Direct action, not entirely called direct action, but we did do a protest at Downing Street about the housing benefits being cut. And then we did, because it was Christmas time, we did an alternative nativity at Trafalgar Square Christmas tree, saying there were no room at the inn. And so we had different boroughs of London with the placards and to sort of demonstrate housing cuts really, and how disabled people will be made homeless by all the kind of housing benefits and the changes that's happening in London. Yeah.
So are you getting any mainstream media for that?
No, not really. That was why we were here today. We did invite, the BBC did come, and they did, but we never made it onto the program. They did come to interview us and to film us, but they didn't bother to put us on. Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because it seems like, Rob, you have to get eaten up by this and pulled out of your wheelchair before you're actually on the news.
I think the problem is that disabled people are really not considered in the actual spending cuts that are being implemented. Disabled people are being targeted by the closure of the Independent Living Fund, by the disability living allowance being cut by at least 20%, and by social care charging being increased across the country, and that is really threatening disabled people's ability to live independently in the community.
Okay, thank you. Those are very good facts. I mean, and this is not covered, is it?
No, I think the incident I was mentioned happened just after the what's his name? McIntyre. I forgot his name.
So the one we're talking about is Jody McIntyre, who's a blog writer who was pulled out of his wheelchair by police in a most extreme incident.
Yes. You see, when I said the BBC came, all they were interested is asking our opinion about that incident. You see, I think their interest in us is because of that event that happened just before. So I think they came thinking that something might happen to us. On the other hand, the police were very keen to touch us with kid gloves.
So the kind of facts that Rob just gave us are completely ignored. So your own media then, are you developing your own media to deal with the fact that the mainstream doesn't deal with it?
Well, we've got the Disability Now magazine, and we have some disability journalists, but we're in a way very niche kind of news. So we need to get out of just being niche. We need to get out into the mainstream journalism. Yeah.
I feel bad about raising the Jody McIntyre issue, but we had a very interesting conversation about it, where you were saying, the first question is whether he should even be interviewed as a disabled person. That was interesting, I thought.
Well, yeah, because we all have multiple identities, and and very often people do ask me, because I seem to tick all the boxes by being BME, by being a woman, and the only thing they can't see is whether I'm gay. So, for all they know, I might be or I might not be, but I do tick all the boxes. So, yeah, I mean, the multiple identity can count against you or can work for you, depending on what hat you're wearing.
Jody McIntyre is an intelligent, articulate, disabled person, and unfortunately that is not what the media want to portray disabled people as. They want to portray disabled people as helpless victims who are oppressed by society, and actually Jody McIntyre demonstrate very clearly that disabled people can be intelligent, articulate, and they can know why they're protecting, and they are willing to take the risk that they have to take in order to make their protest relevant to the current media.
So what are you doing, what's coming up in the future for the campaign?
We do have a big protest coming up on the 24th, which is anti-ATOS, which is what the condoms have given £30 million to this agency to try and get I don't know how many percent disabled people out of benefits. And it's not for, to help them or anything, because they have a target. So a lot of these interviews, to get people off your benefit, like disability living allowance, is a 10-minute, 15-minute interview where they do not refer to your notes or your GP's advice or anything like that. It's very arbitrary, and a lot of people have challenged back and got back their rights. And
Any final words, Rob?
Pardon? Disabled people are threatened by the closure of the independent living fund, by increasing in the local authority care charging, and the reform of the disability living allowance. And these reforms are potentially very damaging to disabled people's ability to live independently, and that we need everybody, disabled people and non-disabled people, to unite against each cut and ensure that disabled people carry on being able to exercise their human rights.
Thank you very much.